Hello everyone, welcome to KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news from the City Council. Protecsa wins an Army contract. There's a DUI checkpoint tomorrow evening. Today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Well, the news from the City Council meeting last evening, the big news is that they handled the $750,000 budget deficit problem. The Council had a long discussion on their options before the public spoke. Many people from the public weighed in on the various solutions. One of the proposed solutions involved the reduction of the police department's sworn officers from 32 to 28 officers. This in an effort to reduce the police budget by $300,000. Well, no one in the public thought that was a good idea. It was very apparent the council was agonizing in how to fix the problem. All departments had to reduce their budgets to accomplish the $750,000 in budget savings. Finance also recommended holding off on a new financial system costing $150,000. The goal being that they'll look for other funding sources to purchase the system. Ultimately, the controversy was the proposed 4 police officer cut. Staff recommended saving the positions by using the Measure L carryover funds unobligated at this time, $300,000 worth. The concern the council and public discussed is that they want to make sure the public doesn't see it as a reduction in money spent on street repairs, which is what the $300K was intended to go for. So the council decided to go ahead and use the $300K in Measure L funds to cover the 4 police positions, and then backfill the $300K from TAB funds to make up the funds for street repairs, thereby not taking money from street repairs. To get the TAB funds, they had to defund some other item from the TAB fund spending plan, so they cut $300K from the economic development section of the TAB fund budget. The big concern is that in about 2 years, the council will have to go back to the people of Ridgecrest to reapprove the 3/4 sales tax they passed about 3 years ago. To get the tax passed, they promised the funds would go for public safety and street repairs. The public had a lot to say about the council and that promise. So they are trying to follow through on that promise. Their actions last night were in that spirit. It is now very obvious that if the city did not have that income, we would be in dire straits. That tax brings in about $2.5 million per year. All of it is used on police and street repairs. So the police department will keep its staff at 32 sworn officers, and Measure L funds are still spent as promised. Additionally, Councilman Mauer recommended a freeze on hiring. Any openings will have to be brought back to the council for discussion before filling any positions. In news about startup company we have in Ridgecrest, we have received this press release. California-based Protecsa has been chosen to collaborate with the U.S. Army Medical Technology Enterprise Consortium. Protecsa will join other high-profile tech firms to innovate the U.S. Army's $1.3 billion medical initiatives. Protecsa Healthcare Technology, a small minority-owned contractor based in Ridgecrest, has announced that it will collaborate with SCRA Applied R&D to create the Medical Technology Enterprise Consortium. The effort will be led by SCRA Applied R&D, which will serve as the prime contractor. At Protecsa, we look forward to working with SCRA in assisting the U.S. Department of Defense in achieving the mission of protecting, treating, and optimizing the health and welfare of our troops and veterans. We are proud to be of service to the U.S. military because of our proximity to China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station. This has created a special bond with the men and women serving the military, said Kishori Joshi, CEO of Protecsa. The MTEC team will include partners RTI International, Tunnel Government Services, and Changing Our World and Innovation Financing around the table. The consortium's mission is to provide cutting-edge technologies to transition medical solutions to industry. Their developments will be used to protect, treat, and optimize the health and performance of U.S. service members across all military operations. The connection of Ridgecrest Protecsa with companies across the country to work on national concerns is expected to be highly beneficial to the Indian Wells Valley region. The DoD spends in excess of $1.3 billion annually on medically related R&D, with double-digit growth recently. The attention being brought to tech specialties like Protecsa in the area make job growth and expansion of technological industries likely. Ridgecrest's proximity to the China Lake Naval Weapons Center has created a unique technology hub for the area, with regional talent and innovation aligning with the needs of the base. The U.S. Army formally announced the award on August 19th at the Military Health Systems Research Symposium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. As a member of the MTEC Consortium, Predixa will support MTEC activities in the areas of medical software development, medical system productivity, medical robotics, and telemedicine. SCRA will be meeting with the U.S. Army during the upcoming symposium to discuss specifics startup activities for MTEC. The initial phase of this contract will be 6 months. Following this period, the government will have the option to work with MTEC through a long-term agreement. Predixa is a next-generation medical technology company headquartered in Ridgecrest, California, that creates and distributes advanced technology, including Rita and Radical, the nation's leading physician's productivity tool, which has been shown to increase productivity by 30% by combining both hardware and app development for worldwide medical use. Predixa is an innovative brain trust. Now this from the Ridgecrest Police Department. As summer winds down, the Ridgecrest Police Department is ramping up its enforcement efforts as part of a national crackdown on drunk driving. Tomorrow, Friday night, will be a DUI and driver's license checkpoint. The 18-day high-visibility campaign, Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over, is a partnership with the California Office of Traffic Safety to curb impaired driving and save lives. From August 21st to September 7th, Labor Day, law enforcement partners in Kern County, across the state, and nationwide will show zero tolerance for drunk driving. Increased state and national messaging about the dangers of drunk driving, coupled with checkpoints and increased officers on the road, aim to drastically reduce the toll of drunk driving. And what a toll it is. In 2013, there were more than 10,000 people killed in drunk driving crashes. Almost a third of all traffic fatalities, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. In California, 867 people died in drunk driving collisions. 38% of crash fatalities last Labor Day weekend involved drunk drivers with a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or higher. And we're not just talking about a little bit of alcohol either. More than a quarter, 27% of the crash fatalities that occurred on Labor Day weekend involved drivers with BACs of 0.15 or higher, almost twice the legal limit. Ridgecrest Police Department kicks off this Friday night by deploying one DUI driver's license checkpoint during the first weekend, along with a special DUI saturation patrol. DUI enforcement will continue through Monday, September 7th, with more DUI enforcement on August 29th. Data shows that repeat offenders are an especially dangerous facet of the drunk driving problem. In the month of August from 2009 to 2013, of the drunk drivers involved in fatal crashes, almost 10% of them had already been convicted of at least one drunk driving offense. Law enforcement emphasizes the preventable nature of drunk driving, reminding everyone that all it takes is a little planning ahead. Designate a sober driver or call a cab, but whatever you do, don't drink and drive. The California Office of Traffic Safety Designated Driver VIP mobile app is now available for free download on iOS and Android devices. Launched last year, the new DD VIP app offers enhanced features, allowing users to map a spot with their current location to find DD VIP partnering establishments in their area or a list of spots to search all participating bars and restaurants throughout California. Users will be offered free incentives at each bar to celebrate their life-saving role. They can stay up to date with the latest from DD VIP and see what other users are saying via its social tab. Recent statistics reveal that 30% of drivers in fatal crashes had one or more drugs in their systems. A study of active drivers showed more tested positive for drugs that may impair driving, 14%, than did for alcohol, 7.3% of the drugs. Marijuana was most prevalent at 7.4%, slightly more than alcohol. Everyone should be mindful that if you're taking medication, whether prescription or over-the-counter, drinking even small amounts of alcohol can greatly intensify the impairment effects. So this August and year-round, remember that there's no excuse for drunk or impaired driving. If you choose to break the law, police, sheriff, and CHP officials will see you before you see them. Drive sober or get pulled over. Funding for the special campaign is provided by a grant from the California Office of Traffic Safety through the National Highway Safety Administration, who reminds everyone, report drunk drivers, call 911. Now stay tuned for today's KZGN Talking Points editorial when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now it's time for the 70th KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic. Last night, Mayor Breeden asked for the people to not only let them know when they are doing something wrong, but please also let them know when they are doing something right. But first, a comment from the last editorial titled, "Is the road ending for Hillary Clinton's run for president because of Emailgate?" I had made a comment that no one wrote in defending her. I had a reply to that comment, and I'm happy to share it. Ethan wrote, "It would be illogical to assume that because no one posted a defense of Hillary Clinton, that somehow vindicates the editorial opinion. In a previous thread, I gave an opposing opinion to the editorial, and I was met with a thinly veiled threat from one of the members. Being an independent politically, I have seen how the extreme of both the left and the right have chastised even the slightest opposing perspectives. This board is no exception. So when there is little to no opposition to the views of the editorials, please don't assume that translates into total agreement." Well, thanks for your comment, Ethan. What I would add is that a few people have asked me to include opposing views to my editorials, and I'm willing to do that, as I am doing right now using your comment. So I want to encourage opposing views to be posted. I respect opposing views and will provide them here, and the KZGN Facebook discussion group is the means to have the discussion. So thanks for your comments. Now tonight's editorial. Last night, Mayor Breeden asked for the people to not only let them know when they're doing something wrong, but please let them know when they're doing something right. She included concern of the derogatory comments some people make on social media like Facebook. To you, Mayor and Council, please make sure and read to the end of this editorial. I will compliment you on a well-made decision. I agree with the sentiment of her plea. As one that has sat up there on the dais 90% of the time, and maybe even more than 90%, all you hear from is people in their criticism when they don't like what you're doing. Rarely do you hear compliments. That's the way it is, and it's hard to get used to. We are human, and we do need to hear affirmation from time to time that we are doing good. You have to have a thick skin and not take criticism personally. Again, that is not easy, especially when sometimes people make comments that hit you personally, and sometimes things are said that aren't even true. But once again, it's out there and can never go away. Oftentimes, family members of the elected official also get offended at things said against their loved one. But the mayor is right. We should take the time to let them know when they're doing things right. And I have done a few editorials complimenting the mayor and council on things that they have done correctly, in my opinion, of course. I realize that I have also provided editorials when I felt things were not being decided as I felt they should be. That is my right. So to you, Mayor Breeden, here's what you did right last night. Even though you agonized in the decision on how to fix the budget deficit, you made the right decision. By voting to not reduce the police department workforce, you did more than you probably know. First, you sent a message to the people of Ridgecrest that their safety is of prime importance for the city to provide. Second, you sent a message to the fine officers of the police department that the council appreciates the work that they do to keep the people of Ridgecrest safe. Third, you sent a message to potential criminals that are here. We are not going to make it easy for you to make the citizens of Ridgecrest victims of crime. Fourth, you help the morale of the officers of the police department. And fifth, you let them know they are important and that we want them here. As far as the Facebook comments are concerned, we live in a new age. I read in a column from a political motivator. In his dissertation, he warned all elected officials to get used to the internet and social media. It is where a large portion of your constituents now get their information. You need to not hide from or shun these internet sites, but participate and engage your constituents. These are the people you represent. So to you, Mayor, Councilman Sanders, and Acton, you are doing the right thing by participating in the new internet world. Can the people on these sites be rude and insulting? You bet. To those that are rude or personally insulting, just pass them off. But let them know you are perfectly willing to discuss things with anyone, as long as it is a respectful and courteous dialogue. To those that are respectful and sincere, engage them. This is the prime focus of the KZGN Facebook discussion group. We allow discussion on either side of an issue as long as the comments are respectful, sincere, and informative. No swearing or personal attacks are permitted. My wife Shannon monitors the KZGN internet sites every day to make sure they are something we can be proud of. One of the most important things you need to do is break away from your regular core of friends and contacts for opinions. If you really care about getting the public's inputs to make decisions, you need to reach out to people you normally have no opportunity to engage. The internet allows you to do that outreach. Embrace it and use it to communicate with your constituents. In conclusion, you are doing some good things. It is sometimes painful to receive 90% criticism. Remember, it's not that 90% of the people disagree with you. It's the percent that want to be heard and usually have valid opinions that many people share. If you listen and engage all the people, you're doing a good job, and I thank you for your service to the city. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial, or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Now stay tuned for weather and sports after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, hot, dry, and windy weather combined with dry vegetation will enhance the danger of wildfires to critical levels over parts of the interior northwest. Be aware of wildfire conditions and heed the advice of local emergency management officials. In addition, dense smoke will cause poor air quality in many areas, including the IWV. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas came in at 85, Georgia 82, Arkansas 76, New Mexico 71, and Los Angeles at 70. For our forecast here in the IWV, tonight mostly clear with a low around 72, west wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. Friday, sunny and hot with a high near 104, light variable wind, south-southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 70, west-southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. And on Saturday, sunny and hot with a high near 102, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 70, south-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And on Sunday, sunny and hot with a high near 102, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is a look at your forecast. Now back to Tom and the rest of the KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Now Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Thursday afternoon to everyone. Let's start with the Deflategate. It's Tom Brady against the NFL and Commissioner Roger Goodell. They went to court the other day to try to perhaps settle their differences, but no one's budging at all. In fact, Tom Brady has no compromise planned at all. He wants no suspension. The NFL wants a 4-game suspension. Now, here's the problem. The judge has hinted that there really is no solid evidence to show that Tom Brady knew the football was under the desired or required weight. So that in mind, the NFL now has the ball in their court. What are they going to do? So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. Kind of not a great way to start the NFL season. All right, Alex Rodriguez, boy, a year ago, many people, including myself, thought we'd never hear from Alex Rodriguez again. He was suspended for a year for the drug problem, the whole bit. Everybody, the whole world knew about it. Well, Alex Rodriguez this year hit his 25th career Grand Slam 2 nights ago. Alex Rodriguez now is the all-time leader in Grand Slams. Rodriguez has hit 28 home runs, and it's because of Alex Rodriguez, his good batting average, his big crucial hits, that the Yankees are where they are right now. He has done a solid job at 39 years of age. All right, Daniel Norris. Well, you may not have heard of him, but he pitches for the Detroit Tigers. His first major league at-bat was last night against the all-star John Lester. Guess what happened? A 2-run home run. First time ever he's got a major league at-bat. Hits a home run. Unbelievable. Detroit wins a game 2 in a row now over the Cubs. Okay, the Dodgers, they've picked up, looks like they're going to get Chase Utley from Philadelphia. He'll play second base. They've lost Howie Kendrick for at least 3 weeks. Utley is a very good hitter. He's been hurt most of the year. He's come back, and he's played very well of late for Philadelphia, but it's been a fire sale in Philadelphia. They're unloading everybody. All right, let's go to the scoreboard real quick. The Angels win again. They beat Chicago 3rd night in a row. Jared Weaver, the winner last night. Houston over Tampa Bay 3-2. In 13 innings in Houston, so 2.5 is a lead for the Astros. Texas stays on track. They beat Minnesota 7-2. The Rangers 4 games back of the Houston Astros a game and a half back of the Angels. The Dodgers lose again to Oakland 7-2. However, St. Louis beats San Francisco, still a 2-game lead there. The Yankees beat the Twins. Milwaukee and Boston winners. San Diego gets another win. They sweep Atlanta 3 in a row. Baltimore beats a very poor Milwaukee team. Baltimore trying to fight for that wild card spot. The Phillies over Toronto. Toronto starting to play average baseball now. After this being the hottest team in baseball, they'll be in Anaheim this weekend. Toronto's still in good shape for a wild card, though, or even the division championship. They're only a game behind the Yankees. And Pittsburgh wins again. They beat San Diego. The Pirates having a great season. 23 games over 500. However, they're in second place behind St. Louis, but they'll be the number 1 wild card team. Sports for Thursday, I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing us, KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Coming up next, Ridgecrest Talk.